Hey guys, welcome back to part number 3 of my Heinkel 111 build. So we got the tricky fuselage parts out the way last week. Now we're going to work on the engine, which should be a lot more stress-free hopefully. So we'll get all the parts broken out, painted up, and 2 engines built up. It's nice that this kit does come with fully detailed engines, and I think it'll look really good once it's installed onto the aircraft. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so welcome back. Last week was a little stressful, but we got it together and oh, knocking everything in the way. But here she is. You can barely see it in camera shot, but it's very big. It's decent size for 48 scale too. A little dusty because I've been standing back and working on some of these seams and stuff, as you can see there. But today we're going to work on the engines. So let me take this guy out of the way and here you can see I've got all the pieces cut out already and cleaned up. So this is one engine. I've got another engine as well. And basically we're going to do pages 14 and 15, which is sections 67 through to 80 today. So you can see that we start, the engine block is like 3 parts, and that's A is black, so that gets painted black, and there's various color callouts and letters here. So as you can see, I cut them all out. I'm going to build the engine block, and then we're going to paint everything in subsections, quantity colors, and we'll obviously do both at the same time. So we're going to build up the engine, get it all put together, and then installed onto the aircraft. And then once they're installed, and then there's like cowlings and various kind of panels and stuff go around, and as you can see later on, so we go through the instructions, quite a few pages. That pretty much completes the build really. So we've got to get the engines on, get top upper wings, and then all the glass parts and the gear we'd obviously do at the very end, so too would the propellers. So this is it. So again, I cut all the pieces out, ready to go, so we can paint them all. I'm now just really kind of getting the letters together. So K is a certain color, so these Ks can be painted the same color, which will be steel. So steel parts will be painted one color. L is gunmetal, so that guy will be painted a certain color. I'm gonna go ahead and sort them out by color and get these painted. Let me just move the instructions out of the way real quick. We're making good progress on this build too. So I have built one block already with 3 parts, and there were kind of gaps and stuff, so I just add a little bit of my sprue glue just down there to fill the seams. Not sure if you're really going to see it. And my game plan with this is probably to have one engine kind of opened up and the other engine kind of just hidden behind all the cowlings and the panels and stuff. But we'll see. So one's built, I get these 3 put together, and then all the rest of the stuff can be separated up into colors and painted, and then we'll come back and add all the stuff together. So let me get painting and get going all this stuff, and you can come back, and we'll come back and we can see where we're at. Okay, so coming back real quick, you can see, maybe zoom in a little bit here, I put them into columns according to the colors, make it easier to paint. So we've got flat black, we've got steel, we've got the RLM 2, I think it is, basically the interior color, which is XF22. These guys are gunmetal, and then these 2 are called rust. So I don't know if it's necessarily rust color, but some kind of metallic-y orange, I guess. So these are the colors, and I'm going to put them on my crocodile clips, my skewers, and toothpicks and various things, get them all airbrushed up, and then we'll come back and get these engines built up. Okay, so everything's painted up, and I've got the color order, and I think ready to assemble. So, a few things. This was painted, this serves a 1500 black, and then just dry brush a little steel Vallejo model there. Figured we better dry brush it first before we get all the little tiny hoses and whatnots on there. So that one's done. What else? For the gunmetal, I used LP19. For steel, I used, going back old school, Model Master, rest in peace. I forget how good these metallics really were. This is old school, way before all the way before the AK medals and all that kind of stuff, years before, and they just produce a nice finish, and they're buffable as well. So I forget about these. I do have a few in my drawer there. I just never use them because, again, as always, always buy more and more paints and products. You forget about the stuff that really works from old school, I guess. So that's what we got. Obviously the old XF22 for the frame stuff, and I think we're pretty much ready to go. So look at the instructions. I'm just going to move these across so you can fit them all on the screen here. So we're basically gonna, what I'll do, I've got some super glue right here too, bring out space. So, and a toothpick, and we'll just, obviously because everything's painted, we can use super glue, so we're not gonna wreck all the paint. So we'll do first one, so we're gonna take this guy, and it looks like this pretty much just fits in like that. Okay, then it's just this one. So firstly, I'm just going to thread it into that hole. It bends around like that. Okay, moving on. Looks like we need the other pipe. This guy. I don't like the way they keep moving this around. They keep moving the engine block around to different areas, so it's trying to figure it out again. So now it's looking like... Oop, it's come out a little bit. Okay, so on the other side, again, a little hole there. And the same spot. Okay, so that goes in those two holes at the end. Then going back down this way, the frame goes on like that. Next up. This guy goes on top. Up. Turn it over to the bottom. Now this one here, you see there's nothing attaches to right now, it's just kind of loose. So again, just a little bit of glue in the hole. like that. And then the final hose goes from here into that hole. Next up, the frame. Let's just go on the inside. This is 3 holes. Okay, framing on. And final piece is this guy, which goes at the top. Ta-da! And that, going through from part 67 to 79, is the finished engine. Well, thus far, there's obviously a few more parts that need to go on here, but looking pretty good, right? I'm like that. Makes it way easier to paint all this stuff separately, like I did, and lay it all out, and then just basically like a puzzle, just put it all together. But you see all different tones, metallics and stuff, and obviously, you know, it's a no-brainer how we dry brushed it first, because now you'll be able to get in there without knocking all the tight pipes and stuff off. So there's your little engine. Again, this kit wasn't that expensive when I bought it. I can't remember the exact price, but with all this detail and stuff included, it's actually a pretty good little kit. Now, don't get me wrong, it is very challenging to get the whole fuselage together, but having this kind of detail included is pretty nice. Now, I'm sure you can go and add a few more wires and stuff if you wanted to, but for me, I think it'd be fine. Obviously, these two get plugged in the back. And not sure why we need to install it so early on the aircraft, but again, I've not built a Heinkel 111 before, and I've never seen one online. I've not looked, so I'm just going to follow the instructions as they specify, and we'll install it before I put the upper wing on. So there you go. That's the engine again. So let me go ahead and now I've built one. I'm going to go ahead and build the other one offline, and we'll come back and we're ready to install these onto the aircraft. Okay, so I've built the other one, no problem at all. Now we're going to attach this to the fuselage, so to the airframe, should I say. So got that one on already, pretty straightforward, just the 4 holes, and it glues in. Just thinking it's getting more and more delicate as this thing goes along, right? So it's probably best to take care of some of your seam lines and sanding and stuff before you glue all this kind of stuff on. I'm not going crazy with glue on this, because if need be, I can probably pull this off if it's going to get in the way of stuff. So just a little touch of super glue just to hold it in place, and simply just slots in the 4 holes, line it up, and there it is. And there's your 2 engines, looking pretty nice. Again, out the box, keep knocking my stand. Out the box, looking pretty cool, and yeah, there we go. Really looks nice. Those different tones of metallic, different pipes we did, painted in different colors and whatnot. Just, I think it looks really cool. So happy with that. Again, I think I'm doing 1 closed up and maybe 1 open is my game plan. But that's the engines. Before we wrap this video up, move on to, I just want to talk some housekeeping. I forgot to mention this in part 1 and 2, but in the instructions here, I did notice an error in the instructions, and I forgot to call it out. But way back when we first started building the inside of the fuselage, these brackets with like the ammos on, it says D28. It's actually a typo. It should be D8. Now, one thing I do find the instructions a little bit complicated. They have like D1, D2. That's a sprue number. I wish it was just like A, B, C, D. So D1 is a sprue, and part number 28 isn't the right part. It should be part 8. That is a typo in section 25 of these instructions. Again, if you're watching this along and hope I'm going to build this in the future, I just want to mention that. I totally forgot to mention it in the past couple of episodes. But looking for instructions here, you know, we've done the under wings, we've done the bomb bay, we've done the 2 engines, we just installed them. And now we're pretty much moving on to the cowling. upper wings, and we're pretty much done with assembly. So almost there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this video up right now. I think we've got enough content to keep going, and we'll come back next week and continue with assembly, and hopefully next week we'll get this thing buttoned up and ready for paint and prime the following week. So thank you as always for watching. Appreciate all the support, all my Patreons, all my channel supporters, and I'll see you again next week. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.